let us know if we're live, you know.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, this is Randall, here in Michigan.
And I'm Matt, here in Michigan. Today, Randall and I are together. Why is that?
Together? Together forever?
Forever? If
No,
only forever. Today, Randall and I are doing something a little bit different. We're actually doing a live stream, so you actually get to see behind the scenes, like, us putting a review together. A lot of times we go in and we can, like, edit different things, but that's not the case this time.
You're getting the full Monty today. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Well, I apologize if there's, like, any swearing or anything. Today, we're doing a video. The movie that we're reviewing does have some swearing in the movie, and we hope to play some clips for you, so there might be some swear words in that. So I apologize ahead of time if that happens.
Don't let your kids hear it. It'd be awful. It'd be awful. Oh, man. Before we get started, though, the movie that we're going to be doing, obviously, is Spaceballs. I need to do a huge shout-out to a friend of mine, Kevin, who has supplied Matt and I with new microphones. We are currently using that new microphone for this live stream. So, if this sounds great, that's all Kevin's fault. If it sounds awful, it's all Kevin's fault. So,
we're not going to take responsibility for it today.
I refuse to take responsibility for Kevin's actions. But thank you very much, Kevin, for the new mics. Obviously, Spaceballs, 1987. Starring Mel Brooks, Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, John Candy, Daphne Zuniga, had to look that up, and Joan Rivers. Directed by Mel Brooks and co-written by Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks has obviously directed many other very famous comedies, including Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Robin Hood Men in Tights, History of the World Part 1.
I'm waiting for Part 2 to come out.
We're living Part 2.
Right now.
2020 is Part 2. Dracula Dead and Loving It, which is probably just a classic to us for completely different reasons.
Yep.
And, of course, the original 1967 version of The Producers.
Woo woo. For those of you who haven't seen Spaceballs or don't know what Spaceballs is, I mean, it's a satirical science fiction comedy taking a lot of spin on, like, Star Wars. In the movie, the planet Spaceballs is running out of air, clean air, and so they decide to try to kidnap the princess of Druidia to hold her basically ransom to get the air from the planet so they can breathe. And we get two, I guess we'll call them space freelancers, come in and try to rescue the princess from Dark Helmet and the other Spaceballs. This movie had a $22.7 million budget, and it earned more than $38 million at the box office, so pretty good.
Modest.
Yeah. Reviews, though, kind of mixed when it first came out between both critics and moviegoers, but it has turned into a cult classic. It's also led to an animated series. There's a Spaceballs animated series, and there's been several talks of maybe a sequel.
Spaceballs 2?
Oh.
The search for more money?
Are we going to get it? Is it going to happen?
Probably not. Mel Brooks is 98 years old. Okay.
So we'll see. Spaceballs is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I like Star Wars, and like I said, this is a big parody on Star Wars as well as a lot of other science fiction stuff. Even Wizard of Oz, Alien, Star Trek.
Dude, I got a whole list of things that it parodies. It's crazy. Really, there's no place to start this other than the beginning of the film, which is, because I time things, 1.5 minutes worth of a ship scrolling past the
So here's
screen.
part of that. We're going to show you a little bit of that clip. Like I said, apologize. It's live.
It's live.
So it's going to be a little bit for playing or whatever. But yeah, if the audio on the video is a little bit too loud, just let us know in the comments. We'll try to fix that for you. Like I said, doing it all live. We don't have the normal, like, clipping and changing stuff or whatever, too. But yeah, it's one of those. I remember first seeing this clip, too, and thinking, like, all right,
it's gonna end.
It's gonna end, right?
It's gonna end.
This is the end of the ship, right?
This is.
And it just keeps going.
It just keeps going. Keeps going. All right, copyright infringement.
Copyright infringement.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn it back on or so. But yeah, this was one of those. I mean, just to start off the movie this way too, it just goes to show you what you're gonna get through the film.
Mel Brooks has been trolling audiences with everything, any film. And in this one, he's just like, we're just gonna start trolling right away. They didn't mess with anything. So for me, I was introduced to this film at Matt's house. My dad's never been a huge Mel Brooks fan, so like, this wasn't a thing that we had in our house. But came over to your house, and your dad's like, hey, Spaceballs.
It's almost like when we did Caddyshack 2, the same thing. That's how we watched Caddyshack 2, so my dad had I would say he had a good sense for comedies for the most part.
Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates. I don't know though, but Space Truckers, man, I don't know how my dad watched that movie. I was watching that for a little bit. I'm like, oh, Dad, this is bad. We gotta turn this one off.
Shout out to the Unapologetic Geek in our comment section. If you want to do a classic movie review, check out Ice Pirates if you haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. I dare you. Oh, he's seen it. Okay.
Yeah, this is your typical Mel Brooks movie and stuff. We already talked about like science fiction. It kind of makes fun of the science fiction genre. Also, a lot of parody of just like authority structure and stuff too.
We can get to the crazy amounts of parody, like Matt was saying earlier. This obviously is mostly parodying Star Wars. And to Mel Brooks's credit, he got permission from George Lucas. He didn't want to step on the big boy's toes when he did this, but it does not leave other franchises hanging out in the wind. There are several parody instances for Star Trek in here. For the beaming, I don't know. I guess it works in Star Trek,
We have Snotty instead of Scotty.
Snotty instead of Scotty, who's obviously, Scottish, Scotland, and it parodies Wizard of Oz a little bit. It parodies the Vulcan neck pinch, again Star Trek. At the very end, John Hurt shows up and does the alien.
Same.
Oh, he's exactly the same.
You get the actor that did it in Alien to do it in this movie too. So. And
then of course the all-famous Planet of the Apes at the very end. What are coming out of its nose?
Yeah, Spaceballs. Oh, it was great too. I mean, you talked about how they got permission from George Lucas and stuff. The post-production team was actually Lucas's company. So it was one of those things that, so when they were going through doing post-production, it's like, well, if they have any problem with anything in the movie, they're the ones that will bring it up, right? So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that are great to see. So it's not like they were just, whiffing it, trying to, make people upset. George Lucas himself actually liked this when he was going through it. He thought it was really great.
Just another example like that, the beaming stuff that he's talking about. Like they're always gonna making fun of more than just one thing, And
like I said, it's the Mel Brooks style of humor, so we are going to get, adult humor in this. But one thing I like about this, it isn't like a one joke thing throughout the whole thing. It's not like we just have our quotes. Like, this is a very quotable movie, but it's not just dialogue driven. There's a lot of physical comedy in this movie that I like. Two of my favorite characters, I think, is probably, Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet. He does a lot of physical comedy in this, which is great. John Candy, also one of my favorite comedians, does a lot of physical comedy in this as Barf. So
why didn't anyone tell me? Perfect example of like
I said, guys, apologize for the swearing or whatever in this. These are actual live clips of them. So,
but yeah, like you see this in this film. Mel Brooks just isn't letting anything, go through or sneak through the cracks. He's gonna make fun of everyone equally. This is a great one, and obviously some of the list of things that we went through, all of his movies. I've always found that Mel Brooks, and this is a very good example, he's always been able to go to the edge, right to the edge of the cliff, and he knows where it's acceptable to stop. Now, that doesn't mean that Blazing Saddles could be made today, because it couldn't.
What?
And in all honesty, Spaceballs might not even be made today, although for different reasons, budgetary concerns, studios just aren't interested in making this kind of movie anymore.
Yeah, at least not as often and stuff, too.
But again, like, he gets right there. He's on the razor's edge of what is or what isn't acceptable. And my wife is very fond of pointing out that comedy usually ages fastest and often poorly. And that's certainly true for a lot of movies. I mean, maybe Caddyshack's maybe on the edge there, or maybe it hasn't aged very well, or Vacation. I think Spaceballs has aged really well, though.
I think so too. I don't think this is one of those movies that it does a lot of jokes that it's like, all right, if you're not alive during that time, you're not going to get the joke. I think a lot of it's just, like I said before, looking at like society structure, authority structures, and those still hold true today. So you're not like really missing out on like, it's not really focused on like current events and stuff at the time.
No.
Though it does references, some like movies of the time, I mean, we've had some new Rocky movies, but the whole joke, there's a whole line of, like, Rocky movies through, and starring now, or, movie now playing Rocky 5000 or whatever this movie quotes and says that. It was kind of playing on that how we get, sequels and stuff. And, like, we joked about Spaceballs 2, the Search for More movie, just that kind of, taking a jab at, that's why sequels are made, right? Just to make more money.
Just to make more money, yeah. I mean... Honestly, there's a couple of different references in here to like extra Rockies, but really, they're like later in the film it's like Rocky 5000, and he's going through these all these VHS tapes and everything, and eventually there's a whole row of just Rocky movies. It's one whole row of nothing but Rocky movies.
Well, this is actually a funny part of this movie. A lot of things this movie does is it breaks the fourth wall, and this is one of them. Like. It's a movie that knows it's a movie. So here's one where they're actually fast forwarding the movie that they're currently making to get up to the point in the movie that we are now, which is kind of funny.
Never play this again.
Never play this again. Yeah, that part that we just saw in the movie that we watched again. Never play that one again.
Yeah, so it's fun. Matt points out like that they break the fourth wall quite a bit in this movie, but it's really tastefully done. A lot of it's done just on making a little bit more humor. My favorite, fourth wall break. Funny. She doesn't look Jewish. And John Candy looks dead square at the camera, talking straight to the audience. Like, yeah, we're telling a joke, and it's gonna be that kind of joke because it's Mel Brooks.
Well, one of the other ones I know we probably have it too is when they're actually chasing them in the Spaceballs 1. They're chasing our main characters, our heroes or whatever, and they think they actually have them caught, but it turns out to not be our actual characters and heroes. It turns out to be their stunt doubles. So it's kind of funny that an actual, mechanism of the movie, like how they're able to escape is because the villain characters captured the stunt doubles as opposed to capturing the real heroes. It's kind of stuff like that. Good Mel Brooks humor in this film.
Oh, thank you, Kevin, for letting us know. When we transition, they can't hear us.
Oh, all right. So I'll be sure when we hit the transition or whatever, we'll be sure to pause.
Yes. Good man, Kevin.
Good man, Kevin.
Microphone. All. Let's see here. Kim says we don't need any more Meet the Spartans. 100%. That movie's awful.
You know what? I don't know if I watched a whole lot of Meet the Spartans. I did see a lot of like the scary movies when they came out. Not like real scary movies. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not a big horror buff or whatever. I mean, Randall and I, we're doing some horror.
That's spoilers. That's spoilers. That's for movies coming up.
Yay! People who know me already know I'm not real huge in horror, but we are doing some horror reviews and stuff, but those aren't horror films. Scary Movie isn't horror. Those are satirical.
Today we took the advantage of being together. We did a couple of in-person recordings. One of them is The Conjuring, so if you're a big horror buff or horror fan, look out for The Conjuring. Not probably his best.
We also have our Event Horizon one that we already did up. Yeah. I think I mentioned there I'm not a big horror buff.
Not my thing. But like this Spaceballs itself has so many spots where it's not just funny and not just parodying. It's become a pop culture. So like when they go and the scene where he's like, no, go past this, never show this again. It's called ludicrous speed, and Tesla Motors. That's ludicrous mode for their cars. We're gonna go fast. And even beyond that, there's going to be a new Model S for Tesla that's going to be called the Plaid Edition. So
for anyone who doesn't know this scene in the movie or hasn't seen Spaceballs, basically our heroes are going at light speed, like going into light speed travel, and Spaceballs, our villains, are trying to catch up. And they're basically like, let's go to light speed. And like, no, light speed is too slow. We can't just go to light speed, you know. They're already going that. We won't catch up. We need to go right to the ludicrous speed, which is supposedly faster than light speed. You know how we see in movies, you know, specifically like Star Wars stuff, when they're traveling at light speed, you see like the stars stream by and they make like lines. Well, the joke is it goes to plaid, because when you're going so fast, ludicrous speed, you don't just have the lines, you actually have the lines in like plaid outlook all the way around. So it's funny that Tesla's actually, you know, using ludicrous and plaid as some of their, that they're actually, you know,
transition. There, Kevin.
There
Hope
you
you're
go.
happy. This is the scene that Matt's talking about here with the ludicrous speed.
Yeah, coming up on it. So that's when they decided that, hey, you know, right on top of us, we're gonna have to go faster. But
oh, hang on back there. Now try and get a little bit further ahead. So scrub.
So another one of those chicken. Like play on words or whatever. His name's like Colonel Sanders, and joking about, you know, Colonel Sanders KFC chicken. So I guess some of those are like pop culture references and stuff that you get in this film.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, this is one of those famous scenes. We mentioned another one. This is a really quotable movie. This is a real famous scene, I would say, of this movie. You know.
Go!
So preview, Randall and I, our next movie that we're going to be doing, our next review that you'll see come out later this week, is going to be Ghostbusters. And that's another one of those movies that Randall and I quote all the time. This is one of those movies, too, that we quote quite a bit, is Spaceballs. It just kind of comes in the flow of, like, normal conversations and stuff. Not just talking about movies, but talking about things in general.
Give me a reading. I'm trying to get to the part where they go plaid, but you know.
Well, this is after. I think this is where they're actually going onto the planet and stuff.
Yeah, well, they go plaid.
We showed a little bit of the plaid and stuff too. You saw the actual plaid on like their faces and stuff from their reaction. They've gone plaid.
Transition. Man, we're gonna have to fix that during our little blips. But you know, all in all, this is one of those films where you could just pick out, like Matt was saying, they're so quotable, and we might just pick this up in conversation. Honestly, we might just say something silly like, I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
I love John Candy. John Candy is probably one of my favorite comedians, along with Jim Carrey. So anything with like John Candy or Jim Carrey, those are probably the ones like it must be those Canadian comedians or whatever. But yeah, John Candy I think does a really good job. I already mentioned like his physical acting and stuff in this is really good. Always with like the tail hitting the Lone Star and stuff in the face, Bill Pullman's character. But yeah, really like John Candy.
So one of the things we had already talked about is that George Lucas gave his blessing to do this, and that was fantastic, but he gave his blessing with a really fun stipulation, and that was that you can do the spoof, and you can do whatever you need to do, as long as you do not merchandise. And, you know, everyone knows that that's George's biggest thing about Star Wars, that he held on to all of the merchandising money. Fox didn't get any, so... You know.
Here we go. We'll transition to that right now. So here we go. Here's a little bit where they're talking about the merchandising of the film. George was worried because Star Wars, you know, the toys and stuff, what really makes the money for the movie. And George was like, I don't want you to do any toys, Spaceball toys, because it'll look too much like Star Wars toys. So I don't, you know, really want people to get confused. So it's interesting they did this bit because of that conversation.
Not just this bit. It's constant. It's coming up right here. Spaceballs the sheet, you know, like
we see those throughout. I mean, not just the sheet, we also see like Spaceballs here we go, transition.
Yeah,
the toilet paper or whatever.
Spaceballs the toilet paper. Everything. The name of this review, Spaceballs the live review. You know, like it was nice that when George put that kind of stipulation on making this spoof or this parody, that he was a very good sport about it, and then that Mel Brooks was just like, hey, wink wink nudge nudge, we can intersperse this throughout the entire film.
Yup. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and it's great that we, have those little blitz. I guess that's also kind of going on with our breaking the fourth wall, more of that breaking the fourth wall, comedy and stuff from Mel Brooks. Sorry about the water drinking and stuff too with the lights and stuff. Your mouth gets a little dry, so make sure we got the water to stay hydrated and everything going in.
Gatorade's better.
No, H2O. H2O. Yeah. Waterboy. That's another pretty good comedy. Terrible.
But let's see here. What else? Other. Oh, that's right. The merchandising, where's the movies made? But really, at the end of the day, this film comes down to just having a good time, not taking itself too serious. Because the more serious that it takes you, that you take it, the less fun you're going to have. And I think that that's fairly true of most of Mel Brooks' works.
I think so, too. It's a science fiction parody, but you should be going for, science fiction and stuff like that. And I think people that will enjoy this movie probably the most are the people that have seen a lot of the movies that it's referencing. If you've seen Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien, you're going to enjoy this, I think, a little bit more than someone just going in. But what's great is about the stuff that they're parodying, it's so well known in pop culture. Just about everyone knows Wizard of Oz, just about everyone knows Star Wars and Star Trek. So even though you might not be a huge fan of those, you'll probably still get a lot of the references they make in this film. So one that we've been mentioning a lot, of course, is the John Hurt scene we were talking about before. So we'll show you that one too.
Yeah, it's always...
We'll show you the John Hurt scene right from Alien, pretty much.
I right here where it stopped. Obviously, they're just making. Here's all this crew. They even got their Sigourney Weaver lookalike. Man, if she would have been here, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, he's just telling a joke about Pluto and the bark or whatever on the trees.
Oh, but seriously, I love that John Hurt is just you know what? I'll do this. I'll join in on the fun. And it's actually very similar to what I say. Joan Rivers, who plays the voice of Dot Matrix in this, she wasn't the original voice actress. It was all dubbed in after because Mel Brooks didn't like the actor or the actress's voice, and it wasn't working. So you get John Hurt here, and it's a credit to anyone will do anything because Mel Brooks asked them to. He asked Joan Rivers to do it. He asked John Hurt to do this, and that's how you get them here. Oh yeah.
I love this too. We're showing this, and there's multiple jokes. So we have the direct reference to Alien. We have this right now, which from Looney Tunes or whatever all the time. And then before that, it was the whole joke about what they're eating. Hey, what did he order? Oh, he got the special. The special, that's what I ordered, I don't want that to happen to me.
All right. But that pretty much wraps up what we're doing here. Kind of a little bit more fun, a little bit more laid back review than our normal stuff. Edited, unedited, I should say. So, kind of fun. I did. Let's see here.
Go into some of our comments or whatever.
Oh no, not again. Yes. 100%.
John Hurt.
Giving it up. And then Kim says, a character played straight, but written to be comedic is so hard to both act well and write well. Yeah, there's Leslie Nielsen in Airplane, good example. Surely. Yes, of course I'm serious.
Don't call me Shirley.
There's definitely some talent in not just writing it like Mel Brooks does, but also being able to play it. And he plays multiple characters in this. He plays President Scrooge and yogurt. The wise sage yogurt. So
it's kind of interesting. Some kind of going on when this movie came out. Some of the critics that were kind of down on this movie a little bit. It's this movie came out 10 years after the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're this would have been better if it came out right after Star Wars. By this time, Star Wars was already pretty well known and stuff. It's are we past the parody? But I wasn't even,
Well,
born and stuff.
I say we weren't born when Star Wars came out. We became Star Wars fans after the fact. And then we can see the fun here. So if you're a Star Wars fan, like you mentioned, this is just going to be fun, especially if you like the original trilogy. It does a very good job of parodying not being in the same universe. It's just fun.
I would definitely say don't show this to your younger kids, Star Wars fans or science fiction.
What are you talking about?
Maybe go with your teens a little bit.
Showed it to his 11-year-old.
Yeah, I hope he liked it and stuff too.
But to be honest, I mean, we watched it that young.
Yeah, we did watch it that young.
So that's no big deal. I would give it up if you guys have any questions for us. Quick, type them in there while we're live.
Yeah, we'll get sure to answer those questions and stuff for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, we hope to possibly do another one of these sometime in the future. Haven't really laid down. I already mentioned our next review is going to be like our typical reviews. It's going to be Ghostbusters. That comes out Thursday.
It'll be up to you to decide which Ghostbusters.
Which Ghostbusters
are we doing, Matt?
Are we doing...
You know what? Never mind.
The UK show? Are we doing the Ghostbusters UK show?
Let's just be honest. There's a lot of different Ghostbusters out there. It might be important.
There is quite a bit of different Ghostbusters out there. So I guess you'll just have to wait to see which one that we're actually going to review.
Oh man. Hey, wait, Kevin, I got a question for you while you're watching. Have you actually seen Spaceballs? Because I know that some movies you haven't really seen too much of. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that have seen this movie. I don't know that I've run into too many people that haven't seen this movie. Yeah. Nor, like I said, it's one of those that you reference quite a bit in conversation. And already people are picking up right up on that. So
yeah,
I'm sure there are a few people that haven't seen Spaceballs, but
well, maybe I have a question for later. Thank you, Unapologetic Geek. And Kevin's like, he's seen it.
Yes.
I don't even what? Okay, that's good, but he doesn't remember it. And Kim's commenting on our Ghostbusters quip. For female Ghostbusters, the feminists are taking over. /S. Well, no, that's pretty much it. Just a short little live review. Matt and I just watched it earlier today, and I would sit down and watch it again right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's that fun. It's just loosey-goosey.
One thing I would say about this, a lot of movies I like watching with people that have never seen them before, that have seen the movie before, even if I've seen it. But Spaceballs is one of those that I think I enjoy more with other people. Like, just watching that today with Randall, we were quoting, this whole movie throughout. We were going back and forth, the two of us quoting this movie. And I think that's a little bit more fun. If you ever get a chance, I know Alamo Drafthouse sometimes does it, where they do quote-along movies where you can go to the movie theater and quote along to it. Well, not right now, but in the future, when movies are back open and stuff, I would recommend doing something like that with Spaceballs. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Right. Well, if you like this kind of stuff, if you're watching it in the future, hello, future people. Make sure to give it a like. If you really like this stuff, we have lots of different reviews. This is just a different live review. Give us a subscribe and ring the bell icon if you always want to know when our videos are being released.
Yeah. I don't know if I might not be here to whatever. Facebook.
Tell them about the Facebook page.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked our Facebook page, be sure to check out our Facebook page, No Market Media. We always give a post a day before our videos go out to let you know exactly what the topic of the next video is. So you can be like, hey, oh yeah, they got a video coming out tomorrow on Ghostbusters. It's coming out Thursday, not actually tomorrow. But Thursday. Wednesday, we'll actually put a post saying, hey, Ghostbusters is coming out tomorrow. Be sure to check out that review.
For now, I'm Randall, not in Texas.
He's in Michigan today.
I'm in Michigan.
And I'm Matt, almost always in Michigan. Glad to see you guys. Everyone have a great day.
See you guys later.